What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, what the world is listening to. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and we are covering our Attitude Year Season 2 Attitude Years rewatch. And we're checking out WWE Raw is War from May 3rd, 1999, live in San Diego, California. And we just covered the first SmackDown that took place, and it was the birth of the corporate ministry. I found out that my brother actually attended that event, so that's very cool to know that he saw that. But speaking of the corporate ministry, let's talk about Raw. They actually come out. Shane says the corporate ministry is the greatest force in WWF history. Many of you say that I have no compassion. I understand what compassion is for you, but none of you can walk in my boots. I can only imagine what it's like living paycheck to paycheck. Compassionate people like myself call you losers. I got looks, money, brain power. It feels good to have destiny in my hands. How many of you would have the size of grapefruits to slap your maker? Triple H grabs the mic and says, Croc, get over the edge. Your fate is in my hands. These people call you the people's champion. The way you worship this piece of crap. Rock, you sing your little songs and comedy routine at Over the Edge. There's going to be nothing funny about when I ruin your career. Undertaker then takes the mic and he says, I hate everyone, but Stone Cold Steve Austin, your name is on the top of that list. At Over the Edge, first, I'm going to take your title. Second, beat you like never before. Third, after I beat you, I'm going to take you to Raw and you will be sacrificed to a powder greater than mine. Shane says, I will first hand witness the 1, 2, 3 because I will be the guest referee. And once again, Undertaker will be WWF champion. Vince, you got 2 hours because I have the last piece of the puzzle. That's when Mankind, Test, and the Big Show, Ken Shamrock, show up on stage with 2x4s. Mankind says, we all used to work for the corporation, but we formed a union. We are a union of people you ought to respect. Your dad used to come out here and the crowd would chant, asshole, since you took our paychecks, since you took over, our paychecks suck. You mess around with the union and you'll have your testicles in ours. Let's go grab some balls. The union attacked the corporate ministry with 2x4s and they leave. We then see Mr. Ass attack X-Pac on Heat and SmackDown. So now tag team champion X-Pac will take on Mr. Ass. X-Pac hits a spin kick and a clothesline to the outside. Mr. Ass nails a power slam and a knee drop. Mr. Ass misses a splash in the corner. Mr. Ass kicks Mr. Ass. I'm sorry, X-Pac kicks Mr. Ass in the corner. And then X-Pac goes for a Bronco Buster, but Mr. Ass gets his foot on the rope, and then Ass nails a Fameasser and gets a 3. After the match, Mr. Ass attacks X-Pac, and then he grabs a chair, but the Road Dogg runs out. Mr. Ass hits the Road Dogg, the 2 brawl, and then Mr. Ass hits the Road Dogg with a chair shot, and then Kane comes out and Mr. Ass leaves. So this is the end of DX. It looks like the end of the New Age Outlaws. Mr. Ass turning his back now on the Road Dogg, hitting him with a chair. Shane McMahon is hurt in his room, saying the union will go down tonight. The corporate ministry come out again. As Shane talks, we see Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon, and Stephanie arrive at the arena. Shane makes matches for tonight, and then Vince, Linda, and Stephanie come out with the police. Vince says, stop before you go too far. Shane says, this is my time. I'm running the show. Vince says, your family is not standing beside you. Shane says, how about it be me versus you? Think of it, box office. How about it, Pops? Vince says the answer is no. Maybe you listen to your mom. Linda says, I beg you. And then Shane says, shut your mouth. Vince gets in Shane's face, but leaves. Shane says, who do you think was the mastermind behind the Undertaker abducting your daughter? It was me. It was all me. Who do you think picked up your wedding dress? Vince runs into the ring, but the corporate ministry attacks Vince. Shane says, I'll take that as a yes. And then Vince says, you're damn right. And then see Stephanie and Linda begging Vince not to fight Shane. He has the police take them to the hotel. Damn. So Shane announces he's the one that had the Undertaker abduct Stephanie. Vince is pissed. Next, we have the Mean Street Posse taking on Gerald, Brisco, and Pat Patterson. Patterson and Brisco beat the crap out of the Posse. Patterson whips Pete Gas and tosses him to the steps. And then Brisco sends Roddy into a table, and Patterson and Brisco get the win. Shane was with the corporate ministry walk backstage to make an office call. That's interesting stuff here. We have Test versus Midian versus Viscera versus the Big Boss Man here. Viscera splashes Test in the corner. Test hits a drop kick. Viscera hits a belly to belly, and then Test drops Midian on his head, and then Big Boss Man accidentally hits Midian with a nightstick, and Test pins Midian. After all 3 men attack until the Union run down. Interesting stuff here. The Corporate Ministry attack Vince McMahon backstage. We now have Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon. Shane trashes Vince and says he would annihilate him, but now that ain't going to happen. But Vince still walks out. Shane clotheslines Vince on side and attacks Vince. Vince hits a clothesline and then a stunner, and Vince beats Shane. And then Shane yells, "It's far from over." Funny stuff. We now have a handicap hardcore match, Mankind versus the Acolytes. Farouk hits Mankind with a 2x4. Mankind hits Bradshaw with a box. Mankind hits Bradshaw with a trash can. Farouk hits Mankind with a chair. Mr. Sacco applied to Farouk, but Bradshaw hits a clothesline from hell. And then the Acolytes hits up a chair, and they powerbomb Mankind through the chairs, and the Acolytes get the win here. We now have Ken Shamrock taking on Triple H with the special guest referee being Chyna. Triple H hits a power bomb and Irish whip to Ken Shamrock into the ring post. Chyna rakes Ken's eyes, and she closes her eyes when Triple H low blows Ken. Ken hits a power slam and a drop kick and gets a 2 count. Ken applies an ankle lock. Chyna puts Triple H's arm on the rope. Chyna chokes Ken Shamrock, low blow. Triple H hits the pedigree and gets a win here. Afterwards, Triple H kicks Ken Shamrock twice. So this night has just been the Corporate Ministry taking over. Next, we have the Big Show versus the Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Big Show applies a bear hug. Undertaker puts ether on an elbow pad and uses a sleeper using the pad. Big Show drops. Paul Bearer gives Undertaker a bat, and Undertaker breaks the bat over Big Show's head, causing him to bleed. The Undertaker gets the win after Undertaker stomps on the Big Show. Next, we have an evening gown match for the WWF Women's Championship. The champion Sable defending against Deborah. Sabre's on the Titantron and says she is at Hef's mansion and has a stunt double. Then Nicole Bass comes out. Deborah takes off her dress. Nicole grabs Deborah. Jarrett runs out and hits her with a guitar. Sal makes a save and leaves with Deborah. Interesting developments. Next, we have our main event, a lumberjack match. WWE Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Rock and Austin attack the Lumberjacks. The Lumberjacks attack back. Vince has the Union, the rest of the roster attack the Corporate Ministry. And then The Undertaker and Triple H attack The Rock. Austin attacks them on the stage. Undertaker chokes Stone Cold Steve Austin while the elevator goes down. Triple H and Chyna kick The Rock. Triple H hits The Rock with a light, sending him off the stage through a table. And Undertaker sends Stone Cold Steve Austin as well into tables. So the Corporate Ministry still end up staying on top. This is a great episode of Raw. Vince and Shane, the Corporate Ministry is still going. Next week, we have more action coming our way. We're on the road to Over the Edge. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.